So, initially, I was going to actually jump back in time and review the Tales of the Jedi omnibus, like I've done with the KOTOR one, except for I forgot to order it. So it's still in the mail, it hasn't arrived yet. And I want to talk about stuff from the Rise of the Sith omnibus, which I started reading at the same time as the KOTOR one, but when y'all voted for more KOTOR over Rise of the Sith, I doubled down on KOTOR. Fine with me, because the Rise of the Sith omnibus is a bizarre mixed bag. So we're going to start. First of all, we gotta talk about the order of things. I've complained about this so many times, but neither this omnibus nor the Rise of the Sith Epic collections have things in chronological order. It's really annoying how out of order things are. So the first Epic collection starts with a bunch of Mace Windu Tales stories, which I think people read and didn't read anything else, said this is garbage, and got rid of it because the Rise of the Sith omnibus was Rise of the Sith Epic collection was hated from the get go. So when they put the omnibus together, they changed the order of things. So we now open with Jedi the Dark Side, which I will tackle today. Also a bad choice, but I get why they did it. Jedi the Dark Side is a 5-issue series written by Scott Alley and with art by Mahmoud Azar. This is the story of Qui-Gon and Xanatos' last mission, as told in Jedi Apprentice Book 2, The Dark Side, and done better in there. Because it's very clear Scott Alley may have read the Jedi Apprentice books once, but I think he just read a Wikipedia article and then went forward with his book, because this is baffling. So, if it were just Qui-Gon and Xanatos, like is stated in the Jedi the Dark Side, it would have been fine. But Tal is thrown in because we got to have Tal in there because this is a Jedi Apprentice prequel. Even though Tal was never said to have been on this mission, and in fact, I think it would have gone better if Tal was there. Tal is there with an apprentice, which honestly, I think Star Wars editorial was like, you have to put something in saying that this apprentice is not officially Tal's apprentice because Tal never took an apprentice till Banff. So yeah, there's clunky dialogue to explain that. These 5 issues are awful. I'm just going to be real with you. The art acceptable, but the writing is awful. And I thought, oh, this is a hardcore Jedi Apprentice fan that lost the books and wanted this. No, Scott Alley was an editor for Dark Horse for a number of years. And we can't talk about Scott Alley without talking about the allegations. Allegedly, he harassed his publicist for 20 years, and allegedly he harassed someone at a convention, a woman at a convention, and then bit her. What? What? What a freaking creep. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Don't like talking about that stuff. But we gotta. In fact, he's showing up in some of my October reviews coming up. So I get to talk about him all over again. I'll just link to this. But this is the most unnecessary Star Wars comic ever. And this is Jedi Volume 1. So was this supposed to be a Qui-Gon story? Was this supposed, like, just an overarching Qui-Gon series before he meets Obi-Wan? Were we going to retell Jedi Apprentice, but badly? Was Scott Alley going to write all this? I mean, the only thing this does well is it actually has continuity with Jedi Council Acts of War. The Council is the same as in that comic series. That's like the one thing it does correctly. which was nice. That was nice. That's the only nice thing. Xanatos is awful from the get go, which you didn't get that necessarily. He had his issues in Jedi Apprentice in the backstory in that second book, but he never came off as just outright awful. In this, he's just the worst. He's always the worst. And I don't like it. I don't like him. I don't like his father. We never liked his father, but like Qui-Gon's kind of whatever. Tall does nothing at all. There is no point to having Tall there other than someone told Scott Alley that that was Qui-Gon's love. So we gotta have her in there. Even though they don't have really chemistry, she looks weird on top of like she just doesn't look right for basically on how she's like described in the books. And yeah, it's so weird. Um it's weird having Tall in there. It's weird having this random Twi'lek Padawan that's Tall's temporarily. She adds nothing. It sucks. It really sucks. And it's unfortunate because it's the first story in this omnibus, and it shouldn't. They should have just put Vow of Justice, Star Wars issues 4 through 6 as the first, because that's a young Keonda Moody story. It's a lot better than this. I mean, that's a nothing story too, but like it's at least readable. This just sucks. Honestly, I give it a 2.1 out of 5. It's not worth your time to check out. In fact, I'd say if you bought this omnibus, which there's some good stuff in here, and you should buy this omnibus, skip it. Skip it and go to, well, the next story is something else. There's going to be some skipping around with this one. So, anyway, have a good one.